Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Dan.
Coming up today, we're gonna be talking about a mass resignation. From the LDS Church.
Like,
tens.
Probably millions of people.
Tens.
All resigning from the church.
Did I kind of blow it? I revealed the...
Well, it's somewhere, we're going to go
tens of
somewhere
people in
between
mass
tens
resigned.
of people and millions of people resigning from the church all at once. We won't tell you where it falls on that spectrum until the end of the show. Is that a good tease?
That was a... I feel teased. I'm intrigued now.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Wait, but how can you be intrigued? You already know the answers.
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Frank likes to self-induce his amnesia every now and then.
I've expunged these memories from my mind. I'm ignoring them for the time being.
That'll happen. Tell me a story.
I've got some good ones. So I'm going to go to Texas first.
Okay.
Because Texas is the source of all things delightful when it comes to
Don't mess with it.
religious news.
You're not
I
gonna,
know.
You're not going to mess with Texas, are you?
I will not mess with Texas.
Okay.
And there is a tax assessor / collector in North Texas that you probably shouldn't mess with either, Dan.
Oh, dear.
Ron Wright, the Tarrant County tax assessor, has decided that it is high time that his county's tax forms and the envelopes that come from his office, that they include our treasured national motto.
Oh.
Which is, of course, "In God We Trust."
Indeed. The national motto.
Yeah. He says that he's one of these people. He's people are almost afraid to mention God anywhere.
Oh,
he
yeah.
says.
In this country, nobody talks about God
So
ever.
Thank God that Ron Wright is willing to put the national motto
Oh, my, yeah.
onto the envelope. I think his first step
bravery.
is just the envelopes.
It's his bravery that I'm really impressed with.
He has received one phone call so far by someone who was upset by the addition of "In God We Trust." I say, go whoever you are, keep calling.
Yeah, exactly.
And
y'all Texans.
find someone else.
What part of Texas was this?
It's Tarrant County.
I don't know where that is.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a Dallas-Fort Worth news or a CBS affiliate that is reporting the story. But here's the deal, Dan. He cost the count. You can't just change, these kind of things without, costing some money.
Right.
So he spent $3 getting a new die made for the envelope. And that is $3 of the taxpayers' money that you're not getting back.
That's right.
So,
Well, I mean, come on. What's the Tarrant County motto? Why isn't that on there?
It's probably also "In God We Trust."
It's "In God We Trust" even more. we trust the shit out of God.
No, there would be no vulgarity.
But that's a great motto. You got to admit.
Did you look up Tarrant County?
Yeah,
it's where it is.
Fort Worth, apparently.
Oh, it's the Fort Worth. Oh,
yeah, not Dallas though.
Right, because Dallas-Fort Worth is a huge metropolitan area.
It's ginormous.
It just keeps going.
You can't get away from it. Once you're in, I think we're still in it. Once you've gone in it, you can't actually escape it.
Utah is just a little corner of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro.
It's a
metropolitan
vortex
area
that keeps you there. I feel like we were driving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area for at least 4 days.
That's Texas for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was a nice story of a man who is not. I mean, and the thing is, if it is our national motto,
right? There's not much I can do to complain about that.
No,
to be
what do you
honest.
do? Thanks Eisenhower.
Right, exactly.
For signing that thing into law.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't. I don't have that much complaint here because I have a complaint that is our national motto.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really see how anyone can get on him too much about it.
Yeah. He says it's iconic. It's part of who we are. It helps define us as Americans.
Especially as Texans.
Oh, yeah.
Texas. Yeah. There you go. I mean, it's infuriating, but...
What do you think? This seems like... I don't know when we'll be able to get this damn thing no longer our motto.
Right.
But like...
That's going to be a fight and a half.
It feels like it's... To me, it is as important.
I feel like...
As because it's everywhere.
I feel like it's going to be 50 years.
50?
I feel like it's going to be 50. Maybe 25. But that seems too soon.
How about 20 years?
You want it in 20?
I want it in 20 years.
I don't think you can do it.
That's a generation.
That's 2 decades.
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll see.
Think of how different the world is today
than it was 20 years ago?
Yeah, from, 1994.
Doesn't feel that different. It feels more conservative now. I don't know. The pendulum will swing. There are more and more atheists every day. So more and more non-religious people. So I don't know. We'll have to see. My prediction is longer. I would love it if your prediction came true, though. Well, I'm going to switch us to Poland. I'm going to take us around the world, all the way to Poland. It's a lovely country. I've been there myself. Parish priest Father Marian Rachel. I don't know how to pronounce Polish. He's from Yaroslav, is a town in southeastern Poland. I think I drove past that, as a matter of fact.
Really?
I think I may have done.
That adds so much to this story.
It does. Well, it can, because I'm gonna paint a picture for everybody before we dive into this story.
Oh, okay.
As you're driving through the Polish countryside, about every 5 miles, you see, we saw either a shrine on the side of the road to, just like in some random place on the side of the road, a shrine to some saint.
Okay.
Or you see a picture of Pope John Paul II, not of the current pope. They don't care about the current pope. This is Poland. They want their pope.
Right.
Or you see a 9-foot-tall cross with a tiny little Barbie doll-sized Jesus on it.
He was a small man. That's a little known fact.
It was the weirdest little baby sister Jesus that you've ever seen on a cross. So those were the sights that you see as you're driving around southern Poland. And then we got into the forest, and then there were hookers sporadically on the side of the road. But
in the forest?
In the forest. It's part of the forest life of Poland. The woodland creatures are have
given way to prostitutes.
Have given way to hookers on the side of the road. Dressed in their beautiful plumage.
Do they have hooker crossing signs?
No, you would think, but they all have a pullout big enough for a semi to get off the road.
No, they don't.
No, they do. That's where they park themselves at a place where a semi could get off of the road. Anyway, so this priest is in Yaroslav, Poland, and he claims that he has started to get texts from Satan. He says he apparently he carried out an exorcism on a young girl, a teenage girl, and it didn't take. And now there's a very angry demon who is sending him texts.
I'm pretty sure that it's just some kid with a burner.
You might think that, but he would defy you.
Does it just come from the number 666?
You'd think. I think it
probably... Star 666.
He says often the owners of mobile phones are not even aware that they are being used like this. However, in this case, it is clear.
Oh, I think so it's coming from a number.
It's coming from a phone Satan's using people's phones to send
just like
Satan texts.
pressing the buttons.
Right, while it's in your pocket.
Uh-huh.
Satan's like in your pocket with your phone.
That like, have you ever
Going
had
boop,
like
boop, 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 boop,
phantom
boop.
vibrate?
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's a reply to Satan's text.
No,
and then when you
that's
go and
Satan
look,
commandeering your phone to send a nasty text to some priest.
No, but my claim is that somebody's sending something back, like, Satan, stop sending me things. And then Satan quickly deletes that so that you can't find it when you pull your phone out.
Oh, clever Satan.
Yeah, Satan's pretty clever.
Well, Satan should be, he should commandeer phones from people in like other countries so that he can like run up overages and high costs of like international texts and whatnot.
Apparently one of the texts that he got said, "Shut up, preacher. You cannot save yourself. Idiot, you pathetic old preacher."
Such just a kid.
It's a teenager that got bullied by a priest and is now like,
By that priest.
fuck you.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Oh, that's amazing.
it's pretty funny.
So of course it's the devil.
Of course it is. Because this girl is, I mean, what I'm seeing is a teenager who is really clever at convincing people that she's not sending texts.
Oh yeah.
So like the only conclusion he can come to is, well, if she's not doing it, it's the demon inside of her. Be healed, young girl. Only in a Polish accent instead of this southern one.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how to do a good evangelical style. Like, I think he's probably Catholic actually, but exercising Polish voice, I don't know. I don't got anything.
It's a challenge. And you're not going to take up the challenge?
No.
Fine. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, I have now. I'd like to come back to this country
Okay.
for a minute.
Sure.
There is apparently it's a growing movement, or so says the headline, of Christian groups. You know how like you'll see like a Christian group set up at the park feeding the homeless people, that kind of thing, right? So they have like these little ministries that they run.
Sure.
And they go
There's nothing annoying about them at all.
you know, and before they'll feed the homeless people, they make them all pray and listen to a little preaching, and then they get some food. That's the way that they just paid for that food. Well, Christians are clever, man. They know where the need is. They know where the want is. Where there's going to be demand for the service that they're offering.
Sure.
Right? So they're the next big thing where Christian ministries are going are laundromats.
Oh no. No.
And so what they're doing is they're offering to pay for the wash, pay for the dryer sheets,
Okay.
and the detergent, and that's all provided. You just show up, listen to a little prayer,
You have to get preached at.
get a little preached at, and then you can do your laundry for free. And let me tell you, when our washing machine went out before the Home Depot delivered the new one,
Right.
there was like a little week window where I had to hit the laundromat.
Right.
It's gotten way more expensive than I remember it being.
Oh, really?
It is not cheap anymore. It used to be really cheap.
I'll tell you what, I would be tempted. If I were going to a laundromat and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be preached at for free laundry?" I'd probably be like,
Sure.
"Okay."
Yeah, it's like
Because they're going to be
$20 to get out of a laundromat now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How much were you washing?
Just a week's worth of...
Damn.
Like, I think I filled 2 machines, 2 or 3 machines, and had them going. Or, no, actually, I did a small machine for my whites, and then they had these really big machines, but they were expensive.
Right.
But you could just do all of your wash in one of those.
Right.
And then I went over and I had to get a few dryers.
Mm.
And all of that, it racked up. I would say I was in the $15 to $20 range.
That's
easily.
crazy. That's crazy.
So I can confirm what this article is saying.
I think I would take them up because here's the thing. If I'm there and they're offering that, even if I say no, someone else is going to say yes and I'm going to have to hear it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So I might as well let them pay for my fucking laundry.
I know. I was hoping that they had actually like bought the laundromat.
Yeah,
But they
exactly.
didn't.
No.
They just sort of
The other thing
have a
is,
friendly owner and they commandeer it for a minute.
boy, they could be in some trouble because you and I might not do this. I might be tempted to do this, but I know many of our atheist listeners and friends would just Bible bash with them the whole time. I would probably do it just for my own sanity. Just like if you're going to preach at me, I'm gonna challenge you on the things that you say that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? I'd be like, yeah, sure, pay for my laundry, and then I'd Peter Boghossian the hell out of them.
Oh, yeah. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
That is what you do.
Go in there and get free laundry.
What are
and
they going to do?
Boghossian them up.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's so this is a quote from Shannon Kassoff, one of the organizers of Laundry Love in Huntington Beach, California.
Okay.
This is our church. It is probably the best way to be involved in other people's lives. Not just handing out food in a soup kitchen or whatever. We get to know them very well. And that's probably the best part of the whole deal.
It probably is. I mean, nobody likes preaching at people, but getting to know people's nice.
Well, at a certain point, I mean, the laundry, it does take longer than,
Yeah,
that's eating a meal.
Some hours right there.
Know? Well, no, because you're thinking of it when it's in your house and you have like a washer and a dryer. It takes hours to get all your laundry through. You go to a laundromat, you line up 3 washers and 3 dryers.
I mean, it's still an hour.
It's an hour of your time.
Or more, a little
It's
more.
about an hour of your time.
Yeah.
Because the washers are really quick and the dryers are high-powered.
Yeah. If I found, well, they're not that high-powered because they have to keep you there for long and they have to keep you pumping the quarters in.
They just charge more now. That's the whole point.
Okay. I would love to go and take all of our Thank God I'm Atheist t-shirts and get them all washed. Have them wash those. That'd be funny. I'm going to take us now to Iran. Where I don't know.
No good news comes from Iran these days. So
that's true.
All right, I'm bracing myself.
And this is an Iranian Ramadan, a ding dong story.
Iranian Ramadan.
Ramadan Manamana. So in Iran, you know, so Ramadan, most of our listeners know, but I'll just explain that it's a lunar month during which a Muslim is not allowed to eat in daylight hours.
No, if the sun's up, no food.
You fast.
Right. Once the sun goes down,
Eat as much as you need to.
party it up.
Right.
Folks.
Which to me just says
I'm going to have breakfast before the sun
I'm going to
rises.
switch my schedule to a night schedule, and I'm going to sleep during the day.
Now, see, it just seems like a bad idea because I've always been told that you should not eat within 2 hours of going to bed. I wonder if people get fat during Ramadan. Like, do people put on weight actually?
I don't know. They're
They're fasting during the day.
All of their exercise and stuff is happening when they're not even eating. I would think that would actually counteract it pretty well. Anyway, not the point. The point is that during Ramadan, in some countries, in our country, if a Muslim doesn't observe Ramadan quite as strictly as the other Muslims do, nothing's going to happen. But if you're in Iran and you don't observe it, there will be some consequences. So there were 5 Muslim men who were caught eating during the day.
What?
Who were publicly, who each got 70 lashes.
Where did they get the food? I would assume that the Kentucky Fried Chicken is closed.
Yeah, well, I mean, they probably had it in their fridge and they just
went outside and
I don't know.
Took their food had a picnic.
All I know is that you're burying the lead here. First of all, 70 lashes is an intense amount.
That's a lot
of lashes.
Yeah.
Now, they weren't the only ones who were caught eating. A Christian man was also caught eating during the day during Ramadan in Iran. He was also sentenced.
No.
Not to 70 lashes. They were a little more lenient with him. They burned his lips with a cigarette in a public square.
That's a punishment?
That's what he was sentenced to.
That's a government sanctioned punishment?
That is.
Is that what I'm curious, is that what the Quran calls for?
I don't know that cigarettes are involved. This was just an Iranian judge who sentenced this man
Dear God.
to have his lips
fucked up.
burnt with a cigarette
That
for
is
eating
fucked up.
during the day.
I don't know how awful.
It's yeah, which to me is like, you guys do know that he's not Muslim, right?
Right.
And to which they respond, yeah, that's why he didn't get 70 lashes. He only got his lips burned by a cigarette.
But
That
why?
was just
Like,
crazy.
was he like flaunting the food?
I don't know. I mean, apparently you just cannot eat during the day during Ramadan in Iran.
So I wonder, wow.
Yeah.
So seriously, I guess I'd never thought of this before, but all the restaurants clearly would be closed during the day.
Right. I
Wow.
imagine you can still buy
But
food
probably
at a
grocery
grocery.
stores would be open, I would guess.
I'm sure that
Because
that's
you're not
fine.
eating,
Right, you're just buying. But if you happen to like take a nibble out of the sample jar,
No.
you're done.
Lashes,
Lashes for you. Or lips and a cigarette
if you're Christian,
if you're Christian.
who has the unfortunate,
Yeah, why the fuck are you in Iran, man?
kidding.
Get out.
Okay. One last story
From you.
from me.
Yeah.
From me.
Okay.
So I guess there's this guy running for governor in Hawaii. He's the Republican candidate. His name is Duke Iona.
Okay.
And this headline really didn't capture my imagination very much. It just says that he's accused of having ties to Hawaiian evangelical group.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, well, and I guess it did actually catch my attention because I'm like, well, how bad is this evangelical group? Because like he's GOP candidate. Like, what's the big deal here?
Sure.
Right? Like, that seems like a normal kind of thing.
Right.
Anyways, his name, Duke Iona. It's actually Duke is a nickname. It's James Iona is his actual like legal name.
Uh-huh.
But he's been the target of a new documentary style video that ties him to the religious group. Where's their name? International Transformation Network. It's Cindy Jacobs. We've played a couple clips from her, the crazy
right.
prophetess woman.
Yeah.
It's her group. And so he appears in the video at a big International Transformation Network as the lieutenant governor and talking about how we in Hawaii this, we in Hawaii that, and talking very much like he is a part of this group and how much he supports them. And we're so happy that you're all here because this is so important, blah, 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 blah. And then in the video, it shows him saying, no, I'm not a part of that group. And so it's kind of this weird thing where it's like he's been a part of this group and now he's denying that he's ever had anything to do with them. And I'm like, well, what the hell? So Cindy Jacobs, I guess I really didn't know enough about her. I knew she was nuts.
Right.
But
She gives us some good sound bites sometimes.
yeah, but I guess she preaches a lot about witchcraft
Oh.
and idols.
Uh-huh.
And one of her quotes here is, pastors, she said this at one of these big events, not in Hawaii, but she did say this. Pastors, sanctify your people. You go and you tell them, if you have any idols in their homes, we're going to burn them.
Oh, dear.
If you have any witchcraft items in your home, you bring them Sunday and we're going to burn them. We're not going to have witchcraft in this church. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So now Iona's on the defense, and he is accusing the Democratic candidate Neil Abercrombie of pushing this whole thing. And it sounds like the Abercrombie campaign is actually like they're distancing themselves from the fact that they're like, we didn't make these things, but we're more than happy to share them because you look like an idiot, basically. But here, this is what really made me want to share this. This is Cindy Jacobs' list of what qualifies as idols.
Oh yeah.
Things that
this is going to be good. I can already tell this is going to be good.
These are the kind of materials that might be bringing honor to the spirits of darkness.
Ooh.
Pictures, statues, Catholic saints, books of Mormon, pictures of former lovers, pornographic material,
Okay.
fetishes, drugs, Ouija boards,
Sure.
zodiac charms, good luck symbols, crystals for healing,
Right.
amulets, talismans, tarot cards, witch dolls, voodoo items, love potions,
Witch dolls.
books of magic, totem poles, certain pieces of jewelry, objects of Freemasonry, horoscopes, gargoyles, native art,
Wow.
and this is the one I love the best, foreign souvenirs. Do not bring anything home from Italy, folks.
No.
Do
No.
not.
And this is what we got when we were in Germany. It's a little Alpenhorn that we burn it. Satan, I command you out of this Alpenhorn. Oh my God, that's just crazy.
So
talk.
you kind of get like as you dig deeper into the story, you kind of go, oh, no wonder he wants to like distance himself from these people now that he's running for governor. But it's not like he didn't hold high office when he went to this thing and like claimed them and claimed to be one of them in this whole thing. He was lieutenant governor. And now, though, as running for governor, he's like, well, maybe not.
Maybe I'll distance myself from all of this.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
love
that is delightful, and I'm gonna make my own list of satanic things. Let's see if we can like ruin some other things for Christians. We should start a website that's ostensibly Christian. That's just that provides a really extensive list of things that are satanic
Of
or
the devil.
right, right, and it'll be things that we know they love, that we're trying to make them give up. Things that we are, that of course they're going to be just heartbroken when they feel they have to give it up.
Frozen yogurt.
Yes,
It's of the devil.
It's of the devil.
They love frozen yogurt.
Let me tell you something. That active culture in yogurt, that's Satan in bacterial form.
Well, the problem that I have
Yeah.
are those gummy bears.
Yeah,
That all these places let you put on the frozen yogurt. They let you put gummy bears on.
Right.
And you know what gummy bears remind me of? Care Bears. And Care Bears are satanic. We know that.
Right. You know what a gummy bears remind me of?
What?
Voodoo dolls.
They look just like them.
They're voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
You're eating them and you're destroying some.
Well, you're ingesting voodoo.
You're eating voodoo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of cheese too. You can't
more
have cheese.
cheese?
No, cheese is satanic.
What's wrong with cheese?
It is from the. Matter of fact, all dairy. I'm gonna say all dairy is satanic.
No.
Frank, you don't have to give up the things that I'm.
No,
listing.
but what I'm saying is
if you go too far,
yeah.
Okay.
Because you want it to be torture.
Right.
Right. Like if they accept that all dairy is bad, then they will begrudgingly give up cheese. Oh, no. But no, you go for the thing they love.
Right.
And you tell them that that's bad.
Ribs.
The McRib. They just wait all year
for the
McRib. I don't even know. Does it come and go anymore?
It still does. Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
I haven't had one since I was a
you've actually eaten one?
Oh, yeah.
I've never had a McRib.
Oh, you should.
I've never had a McRib.
You should.
I don't know that I want a McRib.
Just pressed pork.
It sounds...
Anyway. I'm gonna do our last story here.
Okay.
It's the story. This story is the reason why I won't be going to Louisville,
Kentucky?
anytime soon, or I definitely will never live there in Louisville.
That's a better... You have to be willing to go.
I'm willing to go, but I will never live in Louisville, and here's why.
Why?
As you know, I love me my coffee shops.
Yes.
I enjoy them.
Uh-huh.
I go there to write
Oh, yeah.
because I'm a pretentious hipster apparently or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like my office where I go.
Uh-huh.
I would have been concerned that there wouldn't be enough coffee shops in Louisville. Apparently there are plenty.
Oh.
And there's a good reason for why there are so many coffee shops in Louisville. The Christians have started doing coffee shops.
Oh.
The Salon article that I read starts out with this lovely little conversation. A woman walks into a coffee shop and orders a drink and begins looking around. Where are your Bibles? I have one, says the woman working at the shop. Where are your Bibles here? Asks the questioner. Well, there aren't any, says the barista. The customer replies, I thought you were a Christian coffee shop.
Oh, no.
Apparently, this is a huge thing all through Louisville.
Oh, no.
Like, it's what made it's what made coffee take off in Louisville. Is like, it's now like the hip thing to have Christian coffee shops.
See, in Oklahoma,
they have prayer there. They have like prayer meetings in the coffee shop. They have, I mean, it's not like they pray over every cup of espresso or whatever.
They
but
should.
They should. They have Bible studies and prayer meetings at the coffee shop.
See, in Oklahoma, it was tanning salons.
Oh my God. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, in Wagner, Oklahoma, there was Debbie's Christian Book and tanning salon.
You know what? That's funny because the image that brings up. I've been in a tanning bed like twice leading up to a trip that I shouldn't. Don't ever go tanning, everybody. Just don't do it. It's bad for you, and just wear some sunscreen.
Yeah. Okay.
But I went there because somebody convinced me that you have to build a base tan to go to the tropics.
That used to be a theory. Yes.
Right. So I gave that a shot, and it's creepy enough. It's the creepiest of all the things, but. You have to get mostly naked and then you lie down on this bed and it's just
and you stink afterward.
Yeah.
You stink.
Everything.
You just got cooked.
You get cooked.
Yeah.
But the worst thing in the world would be you're there for however long you're there, and they start playing Christian shit at you, and you can't escape.
Yeah. Now, to be perfectly fair, I kind of am exaggerating just a little bit.
Okay.
It was more that. It seemed to be when I was a kid that tanning salons or tanning beds were what a failing business put in the back room when they were in trouble. And so the Christian bookstores,
all the girls in Oklahoma have to be tan.
They need some help, and oh God, they were always tanning.
That's funny.
Well, didn't you notice my niece when she was here? Oh, you didn't.
I didn't see her when she was here.
My God, she was tan.
Just tan.
Tan.
Oh,
anyways,
it's horrible for you, kids. Don't
bad.
do it.
You're gonna get your
melanomas.
I mean, at least hers is sunlight because she's a lifeguard.
Well, yeah, that's still bad for you too.
I know it's still bad, but it's not.
It's not
as bad.
I don't know. I haven't done the research.
Anyways, back to your story.
Yeah. So, boy, we can't let these Christians ruin all of our stuff.
No. I wonder if it's good coffee, though. Are they at least, like, getting all snobby and sourcing good beans?
There was a story about one that was affiliated with a church that was known around town as the Hipster Church.
Oh.
And I'm guessing that they were pretty snooty about their coffee. I'm just going to guess that they were not okay with...
They do a nice little pour over coffee.
Yeah.
With
Anyway.
Oh, I love it. Anyways, if you'd like to chime in, of course, about any of these stories, maybe you love coffee.
Maybe you're in Louisville and you can say that it's not as big a problem as this Salon article made me feel like it is.
Most likely, it's not.
No, I'm sure it isn't.
But
in my mind now, coffee in Louisville is inextricably
forever ruined.
to being preached at and
Well, let
Bibles
us
and
know.
stuff.
Let us
Yeah,
know
let
if
us
you know. You can do that by emailing us. Podcast@thankgodimatheist.com is our
Sure.
email address.
Or go to the Facebook page. That's facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
You could post something there about it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Or tweet us at TGIAtheist.
Right. Or voicemail.
There's always that.
You can give us a call. That's 424-666-8442.
And, of course, you can check out our website during the week, and that's thankgodimatheist.com.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and this is somebody, I don't know if she's the preacher, but she's standing in front of a church congregation.
She's got an announcement.
And she's got a very important bit of news.
Oh, it's exciting.
And I think you, dear listener, have been waiting for just this.
Oh, you're going to dig it.
And let me tell you what I've put together. While tomorrow Facebook employees are gathering to go march at the Gay Pride Parade in San Francisco, I'm not kidding. There were 2,000 in the last Gay Pride event. While they're censoring you, while they kick people off who happen to have an unpopular belief, like being in favor of marriage, Buddy Mine, Peter LaBarbera, Americans for Truth, taken off Facebook. They're censoring things, and I'm not saying we shouldn't use it, but I think there's a better way. We have now pre-launched. Nobody knows about this yet, but I'm telling you guys because there's nobody I'd rather use this tool than you. It's Reagan Book. It's the email. It's the Facebook for patriots. We're tearing down walls. Get it? We're tearing down walls of tyranny, of censorship.
Clever.
Reagan Book. Because what you want to do is name your new hip app after a dead man.
Who
An old man.
wasn't ever really hip.
No.
He wasn't a hip individual.
That man don't know nothing about no Facebook. Oh my God.
I just love it because yeah, this is gonna take off. This is gonna be huge.
Faux show.
This is gonna suck so bad.
I tell you
I
what.
checked out I went to reaganbook.com and at the top there's a big banner that says this site is currently in offline mode. And there's a little message here that says thank you to all those who participated in the pre-release of reaganbook.com. Your participation is helping us build a more secure site. Thank you. Which suggests to me that the site went down during the middle of all this whole thing. Please be patient while we make the necessary changes to keep the site free from obscenity, pornography, and those intent on the destruction of life, liberty, and the family. We'll be opening the doors again soon with additional protections in place.
Here's the thing. The verbiage that they love to use, I would love to challenge them to produce one person who's intent on the destruction of life, liberty, and what was the other one?
And family.
And family.
Yeah.
Can you think of a single person who would ever proclaim that out loud?
You mean the people?
No.
No.
They don't have anybody like that.
No. And the people who they say are like that are just people who have differing political opinions.
I'll tell you
from
what.
them.
They hate us for our freedom. That's for sure.
The conservatives?
No, the terrorists.
I think the conservatives hate us for our freedom.
Well, that's
To
true.
be honest, Dan.
That's totally true. As a matter of fact, in point of fact,
For our freedom-loving ways.
They hate us for our freedom.
They do, Dan. We're saying it in jest, but they do.
Right. It's true.
Ugh.
Anyway, so we'll try and keep up on that. We may just lose track of that, but if we notice that Reagan Book does come back online, we won't suggest that you guys all go there and create accounts and have fun.
I was going to say troll the shit out of it.
But if you do, we're not.
You're going to get taken down so quick. That's the thing. But it's worth it just having it be so overwhelming.
Right.
Of people who are there who don't, I don't know, embrace their.
It'll be fun. I mean, I would say what would be fun is to see how cleverly you can troll. How deep can you troll without getting banned?
No, I think it's about taking down the site.
Well, there is that too. Anyway, we've got some users, some listeners writing into us, letting us know what's going on. This one's from Ian. He says, "Hi, Frank and Dan. I love the show and wanted to relay how my first Pioneer Day went. Having moved to Utah around a year ago, this was my first experience with the beloved Utah holiday. Due to scheduling issues, my girlfriend and I were forced to wait until the 26th to view the show that was done in Veterans Memorial Park in West Jordan. Now, Ian, I have to tell you, Frank and I were not aware of this.
No.
We were not aware that there is a show done in Veterans Memorial Park in West Jordan.
I didn't even know there was a Veterans Park.
No, I try to stay as far away from West Jordan as I can. That's for those of you who don't know the geography of the Salt Lake Valley. It's on a grid system. All of our streets are on a grid system: north, south, east, and west.
Mm-hmm.
Anything below what we call 33rd South, in my mind, that's the Mormon-Dixon line. And once you get south of that, it's all Mormon. And
in particular, the west side.
The west side gets
of that delineation,
and West Jordan's on the west side.
Because Sandy is which is on the east side, is surprisingly not.
Yeah, but it's
it's conservative, but it's not as Mormon as.
And it's not as fun. It's just not fun.
Well, I went to sort of that area.
I'm
not going to say where I got this information from, but that's actually like demographers of the valley refer to it as the Mormon Cultural Center, or something like that. There's something along those lines
on the west side.
On the west side, like Taylorsville and South Jordan and all of those.
Interesting.
So those are they're just dripping and oozing Mormonism.
Right. Well, it makes sense then that they would do a show down there.
And it's why South Jordan has, 3 temples now? 2 temples? 2 temples.
2, right. He says the show started with a charming little band called Joshua Creek doing country music. My girlfriend and I ended up chatting through it until we started listening to some of the pretty odd lyrics. There was an entire song about a POW in Vietnam who yells, "God bless America," and is practically beat to death by his captors.
Oh, no.
This song was followed by another song about a husband who, to get sex from his wife, has to complete a list of chores. That's charming. After a few more painfully misogynistic songs, the delightful musical event started. The theatrical abomination started with the Mormons being violently thrown out of town and Joseph Smith being martyred in an egregious twisting of history, which was immediately, Joseph Smith was killed.
Yeah.
That's not a twisting of history, but
No.
I'm sure that their take was that he was, Anyway, it's the standard Mormon line.
Innocent.
Right, exactly. Which was immediately followed by an Abe Lincoln-esque Brother Brigham lip-syncing about how great the Mormons were and about how they must head west. The lip-syncing because, of course, the entire production was scored and sung by a corny recording.
Yeah.
Not unlike the
Passion Play.
The Passion Play that you and I saw.
Well, we need to go to this thing next year.
We definitely need to.
Because I didn't even know it.
We may need to organize, if we think of it, we may need to organize a group of listeners to all go together.
That would be fun.
That would be a fun little meetup.
We have a year to do it, so hopefully we can pull that together.
Remind us, guys. Come this time next year, or that time next year. Anyway, he says the highlights of the middle section were the very racist and historically inaccurate exchanges with the Native Americans. And the full musical number devoted to singing about a dead baby. Oh.
What dead baby?
Oh, just probably one that the pioneers
like
lost.
A handcart baby?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
One of those ones that popped out of the wagon. And
had its head. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. By the end of the production, my girlfriend and I were in tears from laughing at the display, but quickly realized that we had just watched a very different musical from everyone there. Not a single other member of the audience was enjoying it how we were, and it was a bit of a moment of realization of how culturally out of touch and historically ignorant Mormons are. Excuse me, Ian, you're in their culture. You were the one that was culturally out of touch in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point that out to you. Either way, we ended up really enjoying the holiday as a whole, and I thought I would share my story.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
So thanks, Ian, for that. We had Dale write into us, and he He says he's been listening to the podcast. He says the wonderful podcast. Why do I always want to just remove all of the nice adjectives? I just don't want to be braggy. It feels braggy if I read the nice stuff. Anyway, I have been listening to your wonderful podcast for over a year. In fact, it was what got me through a 3-week practicum away from my fiancée in the middle of nowhere. I've always found your response to atheist activism, particularly of the billboard variety, interesting. Therefore, though they aren't atheists per se, they do always have a good way of showing religious hypocrisy. The Satanists seem to have an interesting response to the Hobby Lobby ruling, asking for religious exemption for things like abortion. I was wondering what your thoughts on the response is. So, you and I, we were both considering doing this story just as one of our stories.
Right.
Because the Satanic Temple, which is Lucian Graves' group, they do have a delightful take on this whole thing.
Yeah.
So do you want to sort of outline what they're doing?
What, with the Hobby Lobby thing?
Yeah.
So what they've done is Hobby Lobby has
right.
The Supreme Court is allowing Hobby Lobby to opt out of providing contraceptives to employees.
Correct.
Based on the Hobby Lobby's religious beliefs.
They're
right?
sincerely
the
held
owners' beliefs.
religious beliefs.
And so now what's happening is the Satanic Temple is trying to use this decision as justification to protect their own beliefs.
Right.
And what this is, how they're the instance that they've found to use this is there are some states that require women who are looking to get an abortion they have to go through some like state approved literature or maybe watch a little film or something along those lines.
Some of them have to have an ultrasound to look at their baby or whatever.
And so
none of which is medically necessary.
Exactly. So what they're saying is that is against their beliefs.
Right.
And so
they're claiming that
they're created a form that you can give to your doctor and that this will exempt you from having to go through this because of your deeply held religious beliefs.
They're claiming that their adherents don't have to listen to your stupid bullshit that's not scientific to get their abortions.
Right.
Because they have the same religious exemption. They deserve the same religious exemption as Hobby Lobby.
And so now they want to fight on those grounds.
It's cute.
It's pretty clever.
I love it. The Satanic Temple as a group I'm considering joining them just because I think that they're so cute. And I do disagree.
Because it doesn't seem like they're actually worshiping Satan.
No.
They're doing it as... it's so provocative to Christians.
Right.
And it's so offensive that their suggestion of putting a statue on the state capitol grounds in Oklahoma City, next to a
statue of Satan.
A statue of Satan. They know that that's going to be so offensive to Christians that they might actually just remove the 10 Commandments on their own accord
to deal with,
so they don't have to have the Satan one there.
Right, exactly. I think they're brilliant, and I think that it's a great way of looking at it. And I think that I've read some interviews with Lucian Graves, and he definitely. I mean, he comes right out and says that they are atheists, but that they use the figurehead, the conceptual idea of Lucifer as a I don't know, as a figurehead idea, as a concept, a centralizing concept. Anyway, Josh wrote into us, I'm a Midwesterner from Central Illinois, and I think I might have just gotten a job in Eastern North Carolina. It's a college that has at least a nominal religious affiliation, so my plan is to sort of go partially back in the closet, i.e. not lie, but neither make an issue out of it. But also to use the part of my job teaching information literacy to encourage critical thinking and a skeptical approach to claims, which was enthusiastically embraced during my interview. maybe there could be a discussion of cultural transplants, such as a move from Oklahoma to Utah. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it feels a little different, but yeah, I mean, cultural transplantation.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
You have to deal with cultures.
I mean, for me, moving from Oklahoma to Utah, I had experienced Mormonism in its sort of out of Utah or out of the Bible, the Mormon Belt, experience. Right?
Mhm.
Like I had that experience with Mormonism,
Right.
and it's a different brand of Mormonism in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
The culture of the church is, and whatever your ward is it just feels very, very, very different. And so when I came to Utah, and started to experience the LDS Church when they're the majority,
Mhm.
I really hated them. I really disliked everybody that I was going to church with.
Right.
And yeah, it just didn't fit well. And I recognized very quickly that it is basically two different churches, in the sense that while the beliefs are the same, they culturally, they're just strikingly different. But anyways, so I found clever little ways to avoid church, or going to church, including one of getting an on-campus job at BYU that required me to work during church.
Oh.
It was the perfect workaround.
Wow.
Because I couldn't go to church because I was at church for 8 hours every Sunday morning into the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
And
even the Lord needs some people to work on Sundays.
well, yeah, I was a fire sniffer in the during the reconstruction of the student union, the Wilkinson Center.
That sounds like you made that up.
No, they couldn't run their normal fire alarms. Their smoke detectors weren't working, and because of all the construction.
Oh my God.
And so on the weekend, when there was nobody on the work site, they needed somebody there
to just sit
and
keep
so
your nose open.
I sat in an office area, and every half hour, I had to get up and walk around the building. And it took me maybe 2 to 3 minutes to do my little circuit. And then I could go sit down and do my homework.
Oh, that is a good job.
It was a great student job. And it kept me from having to go to church. I had the Saturday and the Sunday. Well, no, did I have the Saturday? I know I had the Sunday.
Well,
and I had like an evening as well. maybe.
keeping
I
away
can't
from
remember. But
church
anyways,
is not going to be Josh's problem.
that's not his problem.
I would say
so-
this. I met a guy just over this weekend who's from South Carolina, not North Carolina.
Right.
I think he's from South Carolina. I get the Carolinas mixed up. Anyway, and he just barely moved to Utah, in January, so he was dealing with some culture shock in that respect. But he said, I mean, he loves it here.
Right.
He said that what was interesting though is that when in the South, if you move to a new place. He said his coworkers would have immediately started inviting him to dinner, and all of that sort of stuff. And people in Utah didn't do that,
Yeah.
and he had to learn not to take that personally.
Oh.
That was interesting.
Huh.
Because I wouldn't think to invite somebody to dinner
Right.
just because they're a new coworker.
Right.
That's not our culture.
No.
So Josh, who knows? Maybe you'll get some free dinners out of it.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, maybe part of my difficulty of responding to this is that I don't know the culture of Central Illinois,
Right.
and I don't really know the culture of North Carolina. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you have a plan,
Yeah.
to
I think
avoid the whole atheism topic unless it's brought up or, it comes up naturally.
I think laying low is always a good idea for a little bit. You know what I mean? Fly under the radar for a while until you get a lay of the land.
Depending on what your goals are.
Well, yeah, exactly.
If your goals are to have friends and to fit in and to have people accept you for who you are, then I say lay low.
Yes.
If you're wanting to barge in and ruffle feathers and you have no problem being a pariah,
Right.
then go in with guns
blazing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Anyway, well, not so. I guess we weren't tremendously helpful on that, but there you go. Yasmin wrote to us. It's been a while since I wrote, but I thought I'd share my story. A story my partner told me. I was shocked to learn that he was sent to Bible camp as a child. He's a skeptic. He is a skeptic, atheist, and freethinker. But his parents are born-again Christians. One experience stuck with him. One year, he was led into a dark room with projections of disturbing images of famine-ridden children, death camps, etc. He burst out crying, as any 6-year-old boy would at such gruesome images. And when he was taken by the adults of the church back to his parents, they happily confirmed he was now a Christian, as he had had a religious experience. He also remembers people on stage saying that they had been cured of their allergies, eating food in front of the children and saying, "Now I can eat this. It's a miracle." He's also seen his mom falling to the floor, speaking in tongues, and his family swear that they have seen miracles in front of their eyes, limbs growing back, for example. Now, the next paragraph is what caught me off guard on this.
Okay.
We live in London, England.
Oh,
I thought this sort of thing was pretty exclusive to churches in extremely religious parts of Africa or America, but I was wrong. Anyway, he eventually got banned from Bible camp as his brother was caught in the showers with the high priest's daughter.
Oh, okay.
That's great. She jokes. She references the thing that we said on the podcast. She says, "I would totally buy your book. So your child is going to hell, and why that's okay, and give it to his mom if we ever have children. She needs your advice." Anyway, she says, "I love your podcast. It gives me hope." Well, thanks, Yasmin. And not only that, but she contributed to us this week.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you.
Contribution. So we really appreciate that. I also wanted to thank Robert for his contribution. All of the contributions that we receive help. So thank you guys very, very much for your contributions. If you want to contribute to us, you can find us at thankgodimatheist.com and click on the support page.
Wonderful. All right. Is that all the emails?
That's all we got.
Okay. Well, I have a little voicemail I'd like to play.
Okay.
This is a voicemail. Somebody had the experience of going to Catholic communion and wanted to share it. So here we go.
Hello, Frank and Dan. My name's Eric. I'm from Albany, New York. Just a quick story you guys might find amusing. My wife and I have very good friends who are Catholic. They're smart and kind, and we love them very much. Recently, their son was to receive his first communion, and of course, they wanted us to be a part of it. Now, even though I think the ritual is horrible, sometimes you just have to let some stuff go in the spirit of getting along. So we went. I had to compartmentalize. And that's the point of the story. Near the end of the ceremony, everyone is invited to receive communion. And I noticed most people, after eating the wafer, passed on the wine. A little side note, a plus side of going was explaining to my daughter the symbolism of all this. And I don't think she ever wants to set foot in church again. So anyway, this intrigued me very much. So I asked my friend, what's up with that? And his reply was that because so many people drink from the chalice, they skip that part so they don't get sick. I found this just incredibly funny. Now, let me get this straight. It's important to go up there and pretend the cracker is the body of Christ. But the wine, not so much, because of germ theory. Anyway, have a good one. Bye, guys. Love the show.
Well, yeah.
Nobody wants to get sick.
No, because fairy tales are cute and all. And it's, the whole transubstantiation thing is very important. Right up until it butts up against known science that everybody accepts.
Right.
Like germs.
Well, it seems like it's just a little minor risk.
Yeah. Frank, I would never do it. You get one person who has like a cold sore, and now everybody's got it.
So the whole neighborhood now.
The entire parish has herpes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay with that.
The
flu.
It's
totally get the flu from the sacrament,
he
from the
asks so
Eucharist.
little of us.
That's true. And
he did so much for us.
If God didn't want us to have
so
herpes,
little.
If God didn't want us to have herpes, why would he have put the virus on the planet?
It's here for a reason.
It's here for a reason.
It's here for a reason.
Go
Dan.
get your herpes, you damn hypocrites.
Yeah.
Herpocrites.
Well, what they need is they just need a little mouth guard that you can put on it. Right. So,
well, they need to take
that would be for the rim. That would probably protect you from the herpes.
Well, what they need
then for the fluid, Well, you need like it's a special straw that has no backwash.
Right. No, what they need
Like a
is
little loop-de-loop straw
that catches
right?
it.
that catches your backwash.
Everyone bring your
and then
own
everybody's
straw.
fine. So you don't even need the mouth guard at that point. You just
Right.
go up with your little loop-de-loop straw
With your own
and just
straw.
sip some wine.
Right. Exactly.
Seems very
It's in the shape of a cross, actually, the straw.
yeah. And it seems completely appropriate.
No,
and
they need to
reverent
take a page out of the Mormon's book, because the Mormon sacrament has these little individual shot glasses. Now they don't do wine; they do water, which is boring as hell.
Right.
But if the Catholics would just get on board with the shot glasses,
Yeah.
then everybody would drink their blood of Christ, and they would just, then finally they wouldn't be neglecting Christ's blood.
Right.
Which,
I don't.
if it actually does transubstantiate, and you get some blood that was in Christ when Christ had a cold, then you get a cold. What about that?
He gets colds.
Well, I mean,
He's a sniffly god.
Our God is a sniffly God. And lo, it came to pass
He's a sniffly god.
that the Lord did look upon them and say, I'm really not feeling well right now. And they did say, don't sweat it, Lord, for thou art holy. Go take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
And drink plenty of fluids.
Right.
Take a nap and drink plenty of fluids.
Anyway.
Some fruit bars will help as well for help soothe all that nice cold from the fruit bar. That's what I always do when I get a cold.
A fruit bar?
I get those fruit bars, the ones, the frozen fruit bars.
Yeah, they're delicious.
So good.
Anyway, thanks for the call. So, last week, as a matter of fact, so we did our Pioneer Day recording last week. And right after the show, Mackenzie had been wildly trying to get in touch with me because they were having an event here in Salt Lake City. Some people had organized a mass resignation from the LDS Church based on as a protest of the treatment of Kate Kelly. Now, our listeners will remember that Kate Kelly was an LDS woman who had started a group called Ordain Women, which was a group that was fighting for the rights for equal treatment of women within the church. A silly goal, but that's what they wanted anyway. So she was excommunicated. People didn't like this. They organized this mass resignation from the church, got a lot of RSVPs on Facebook. They called it 500 resignations. It was what they were anticipating. So I rushed over there as soon as we finished recording.
Right, yeah.
So it was exactly what I expected it to be, which was slightly fewer than 500 people resigning from the church. I'm going to guess we're looking at maybe 50 to 70 people in attendance and probably about 10 actual resignation letters into the mailbox.
That bores me.
It's boring. It was, but I mean, the point was actually just to get the cameras there and to sort of call attention to it.
And if you zoom in with a camera, it compresses everything, and it looks like it's a bigger crowd.
Sure, yeah, and the news was there. I don't know.
Wide angle, you're going to see that nobody showed up.
Right, exactly, and you're going to see that like half the crowd is wearing like Atheists of Utah T-shirts and stuff. I was like, really, half of you guys are like just here,
just as atheists.
Like sort of dancing on just take in your Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I was there, I was there more sort of as pseudo press.
Did you have a Thank God I'm Atheist t-shirt on?
No.
See, you missed the opportunity.
No, because I wanted to look like I might have been there in support of the cause, not there already out of the church or whatever.
Yeah, well...
Also, like as I said, I was rushing. Anyway, I decided to interview some people from this event, some people that were resigning from the church, just to sort of get a sense of where they were at. Because I'll be honest, my guess was knowing Mormons the way I do, and knowing sort of the mind fuck that Mormonism is, especially here in Utah, I was guessing that nobody was resigning from the church because of the Kate Kelly thing.
Right.
It's just so fresh, and it takes Mormons a long time to wrap their head around, A, wanting to leave the church, B, wanting to make that final by sending in a letter. It takes a long time to go through this, and the Kate Kelly thing was only, a month ago?
Yeah.
So they were doing it in conjunction with Pioneer Day. They were trying. I mean, these are people who were resigning from the church. My guess was they had already made the decision before the Kate Kelly thing.
Right.
So I decided to interview some people. They confirmed that largely, but their stories became interesting to me. So that's what I wanted to play.
Okay. Well, then let's listen to the first one.
Okay. So I'm here with Ian and Brittany. You guys just resigned from the LDS Church. Tell us. First of all, I'm just curious. Have you guys been regularly attending church members lately?
Not for the past year and a half, but up until then I was a full-time goer. I was even served a mission in Guatemala.
How recently was that? You look like a young kid.
Yeah, it was. I got back in 2011.
Oh, okay. And have you been going to church?
No, I stopped going. I was raised in the LDS Church, and I stopped going about a year and a half ago.
Okay. And why did you guys stop going to church?
Looking up on history of the church really made me question it, and I don't agree with all of their teachings.
Okay.
I do consider myself a feminist, and that doesn't really fall in line with their teachings now, and I'm very pro-choice, very liberal, so.
Okay. So this event was organized sort of as the idea was as a protest of the Kate Kelly excommunication and all that. Was that a catalyst for you?
Not really. I'd already made up my mind before, but I found this event and
Sorry, that's not gonna be.
I had found this event and I decided I'd like to do it as a group.
All right. How about you? What got your feet walking out the door?
Yeah, it's been on my mind for a while. Even during the mission, it didn't seem right, didn't add up. Book of Mormon just seemed like a fallacy. And, of course, the history of Joseph Smith. I mean, he was a convicted liar, he was a fraud. And so it's hard to think that a con man can become a prophet overnight.
Fair enough. How were you guys affected by the Kate Kelly thing? Did that just further solidify your views, or did it add anything new to your views of the church?
Not at all. I mean, it was kind of obvious she was going to be excommunicated. Not that I cared nor took much thought into it. By that time, I'd already decided the church was false. As far as Kate Kelly goes, I mean, she just wanted what other members had in Joseph Smith's time. Females had the priesthood back then, so it makes sense that she'd want it now. As far as that goes, it didn't help me or deter me in any way from church or moving my name from the church.
Are you guys moving on to a different church, or what happens now?
Religion's done now. I don't consider myself an atheist, but I also don't believe in organized religion. I don't believe God needs 10% of my money. And right now it's just about living our lives and enjoying life the way we want to instead of being worried about what a guy upstairs is going to do to us after.
How about you?
I haven't decided. I might be atheist in the end, but I'm still figuring out for myself. But definitely no more organized religion.
Well, if you guys ever want to take the atheist discussions, you can come and talk to me, and I'll be happy to sit you down and
All right.
give you our books and all that sort of thing.
Sounds good. Keep you up on that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
The voice of the younger generation.
Right? Yeah, I'm like I said, I think one telling moment was when I asked if the Kate Kelly thing meant anything to them in this context, and the guy just flatly said, "No."
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, the point is, leaving a church,
Right.
like, you could have something be, like, I could see, like, Kate Kelly maybe being, like, the last straw.
Right.
Maybe, like, if you were closely aligned with the Mormon feminist movement,
Right.
you know, that could be, like, a last straw. But if you're just, like, you know, some kids, you went on a mission, you've been processing it for a while,
Right. And then
you've already made your decision, you just need an excuse to do it.
right, somebody
Yeah.
else is going to provide you with the letter and the envelopes.
Yeah. It's
Something.
the easiest way out imaginable. Now,
Yeah.
of course, they now have to deal with the aftermath. But
Yeah, there is going to be some fallout. I mean, one of the things about resigning from a church is that legally that's meant to be a what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm sorry, the
When nobody's allowed to talk about it outside
confidential.
of confidential. Thank you. It's meant to be a confidential thing. The church is not supposed to tell anyone about it, and you're allowed to tell anyone about it. But that's between you and the church.
Right.
The Mormon Church, they don't make an announcement or nothing, but they have ways of making sure that your family knows that this happened.
Well, it's also immediate. Like when they receive the letter, you have resigned from the church
Legally.
Yes, they don't necessarily honor that.
Right.
They have their own little process they still like to play out.
Right.
And so the way that I responded when they sent back the letter that was like, no, this is an ecclesiastical matter and there's more stuff for you to do. I sent a letter back that same day, and said, you clearly did not read my first one.
Right.
I'm not looking for anything beyond a letter from you that says that you have received it and you acknowledge that I'm no longer a member.
Indeed.
And I received a letter back from them before. Received a letter back from the church before the bishop contacted me.
Yeah.
Because the bishop does their little contact thing. We're sorry we received this thing, blah, 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 blah.
Just checking with you.
Anybody who's going through this right now, be really, really quick and firm in your second follow-up letter.
If you
It
do
helps.
one. I didn't bother to do one. I just sort of let them go through their process. And it took, probably a month before I got the final confirmation. But I was just like, meh. And then, the bishop called me and said, and this is a bishop from a ward I had never attended because they transferred my records to my new address without me knowing about it. And so so the bishop called me and was like, so you want to get your name off the records? And I was like, yeah. And you can tell he's reading it as he's talking to me. He was like, it looks like it's because of the gay marriage thing in California. And I was like, yep. And he said, okay, we'll just take care of that for you then.
Yeah.
Because,
Not all bishops are going to do that. So
no,
it's about
you could also be,
avoiding-
if the bishop here thinks that you're going to be, that you might be able to be brought back into the fold, they will convene a court.
or if you submit to their process,
Right.
they will put you through their process.
Yep.
And that's something that I was adamant that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
There would be no court. All right. And then we have another.
Yeah. Then I
little chatty
interviewed.
that you had.
I interviewed another guy who.
Okay. Well, let's play it.
Yeah. So, Kyle, you're resigning from the LDS Church today. Talk to me about your pathway out of the church. What started you thinking along those lines? Why now?
Okay. Well, first of all, I think a lot of it started on my LDS mission. I served a mission to Georgia, and in the Deep South, you have really fiery Southern Baptists as well as the fiery Mormon missionaries. Can make for a dangerous combination.
Bible bashing, that sort of thing?
Oh yes, but I learned my Bible. Oh Lord, did I know my Bible. I read the King James with all the Joseph Smith translation, the New King James, the New International Version, the New World Translation, which the Jehovah's Witnesses read, as well as the Apocrypha that the Catholics have. So I made sure I knew my Bible.
Wow, that's actually seriously impressive because that book is really hard to read.
It is really hard. Well, admittedly, I didn't read the Old Testament in all the versions because that's a little bit much and a little depressing too. So, but as I was on my mission, the more I read, the more I had questions and the more I needed them answered. And so I'd really pray. I never got the answers while I was on my mission. So I came home and got even more devoted and made sure that I spent 30 minutes to an hour a day trying to find answers to all my questions of how to feel the Spirit more intensely, how to be guided in your life and things like that. And I never got answers. I would read talks by general authorities, and they'd talk about how you need to sacrifice sins and things like that in order to be closer to the Spirit. So I watched an occasional R-rated movie, so I stopped doing that. I stopped listening to music with explicit lyrics. I, tried to cut more and more quote-unquote sins from my life, and I never got closer. I felt like my tires were spinning. And eventually I fell in love with this girl, and she had already left the church. We ended up sleeping together, and I felt horrible because of all the guilt that the church instills in you. So I actually broke up with her in this very park, ironically enough, that we're doing this mass resignation, so I could be more devoted to the religion. And over the next year, I did the whole repentance process, and then once that was completed, I went back to the LDS temple. I was sitting in an endowment ceremony, and I felt absolutely nothing. And it was right at that moment that I had spent so much of my life devoted to this religion, and it was giving me nothing. And I never went back after that.
Wow, that's intense stuff. This is not an easy religion to just stop going to.
No, it's really not. Especially with my background, my parents are actually converts. They left the Presbyterian Church to join the LDS Church when I was 2. We got sealed in the Washington D.C. temple and everything, and they are very, very strict. Only in the past year or so have I been able to convince them that caffeine in sodas is not bad. So,
wow. So you have not told them that you're officially resigning from the church yet, is that right?
I have not, no. I've had several difficult conversations just about the church's stance on gay marriage. I don't think they're ready to know that I've entirely left the church and asked to have my records removed.
How do you think they'll react?
Not very happy. Ever since I stopped going to church, and I did tell them that I had stopped going, mostly due to my feelings on gay marriage. I'm very pro-gay marriage and equal rights. That comes from, I do a lot of acting in my spare time, and in the theater world, there's a lot of gay guys, and I've met some of the greatest people in my life in that venue, and I've seen how their relationships can be incredibly loving, and I don't want to ever deny them that. So ever since I told my parents that I left the church, or that I stopped going to church rather, the relationship's been a little strained because the church is so much a part of their lives.
Right. Well, congratulations on your decision. I know that it's a tough one.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? You've got the letter in your hand.
I do have the letter in my hand. Honestly, I'm pretty darn scared. It's a nerve-wracking thing to make a commitment, because this is a very permanent thing, and I think I'm actually starting to understand those people that I taught on my missions that decided to change their lives to join the church as I'm preparing to leave it.
Interesting.
It's a very scary thing, but at the same time, one of the speeches talked about, this being the most Mormon thing you can do, of, shoving off from the shores like Lehi had left Jerusalem in the Book of Mormon, and I thought that was really funny, but kind of true in a lot of ways. So that I feel very much like I'm leaving the shelter of what I've known my whole life.
Wow. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Could you hear the fear in his voice?
Yeah.
I mean, he was such a sweet guy, and you could tell that he was a sincere person.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it's a scary thing for Mormons.
Yeah. Well, and there's actually a lot of his story that I really identified with.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it so clearly stated in a way that I feel like was kind of my process as well from someone else, which was the spiritual promises just weren't living up.
Right.
And for there to be complete silence spiritually.
Right.
And that being the thing that got him out. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Being that sort of in tune with your and honest about your own feelings.
Right.
And knowing the source of your feelings.
Yeah,
right?
that really
and
resonated with me as well.
Yeah. Because like it's really easy to fool yourself and to trick yourself into believing and feeling and all that.
Well,
so.
yeah, I mean, I had experiences that I thought were spirit for a while. I thought, the feelings that I would feel at church when the music was playing, and I'd feel sort of a swelling feeling, and it felt really powerful and stuff. Now I recognize that as being sort of theatrical tricks. This is what theater does to you. This is what and much better actually than Mormon Church does. But but you have to be sort of vigilant and honest. I think honesty is and having that integrity is a tricky thing to do.
Yeah.
And so now he's faced with a scary moment. Worried about losing his folks, worrying about losing his identity.
Yeah.
You have to change everything.
Poor
So
kid.
there you go. What started out as like me kind of thinking I was there for this rally and not really expecting much to come of it. I ended up feeling pretty moved by his by these people taking that step.
Right.
It's a scary step.
It is indeed. Well, if you'd like to tell us about your scary step, you can do that.
Yeah, we got lots of ways for you to get in touch and share your story with us. You can write to us, which is podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can leave us a voicemail. The number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, or go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, which is also our Twitter handle, @TGIAtheist.
And of course, we have our website, thankgodimatheist.com. You can go listen to episodes. You can support the show. And read the blog.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Mackenzie, for all of your Facebook work,
wizardry.
Hard work. Yeah.
And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for their music. And we will talk to y'all next week.
Bye-bye.